What's up, y'all? It is another day. We're back in the garage, and we have the transmission together. So that damper that I found on the bench was, in fact, a part of the countershaft assembly. The main shaft assembly had some trouble going together. I would say that the first hub that goes on that main shaft was a little bit tight, and then the selector for the outside of that hub is a little bit loose, which is weird. It's an OEM transmission. It's low miles. I don't know. Hopefully it holds together. But in the process, I damaged this synchro spring. So luckily I keep a bunch of spare parts when I buy cars and sell them and stuff. So I had a spare one, so I put it in. And then when I'm putting the transmissions together, what I like to do is I like to make sure that the transmission case is going to go on smoothly, which tells me that the clearances on the between the shaft and the case axially are okay. So as you can see, it is together, and if we rotate it, it seems to be fine. There's no shifters in there or anything, so I'm gonna open it up and show you guys what I'm talking about. But yeah, so the shaft actually typically sits a little bit further outside of this casing. So in order to get it together, you put the casing on this and on this, and then it allows the shaft to go further out, and then you can put the case on, and then there's a little circlip in here that you spread out, and it grabs onto a recess in the top bearing on the counter shaft. So, and then once you get that done, you flip the transmission upside down, it seats, and then it spins. So we're going to take this back apart. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Here's what we got going on. As you can see, so normally there's shifter forks that go here. The shifter forks are currently over here. And normally there's a shifter assembly, which gets bolted into here. As I mentioned earlier, I clearanced this case already so that the differential fits in there. What we can do next is, if we want to really be thorough, we can make sure that the differential has the proper clearance by putting just the differential in and then putting the case on top, spinning it and seeing if it spins freely or has too much axial play. If it doesn't spin freely, there's this little washer here, and you can get a thinner diameter one or a thinner thickness one. And if it does spin freely but it has too much axial play, you need to get a thicker one. So on one of my kit transmissions when I was building it, I actually had to get a one of these, and I had to grind it down with a grinder because I didn't have enough time to get a OEM Honda one that was a smaller thickness. You can also get piston rings to space them out if you'd like, but I believe they're 1.3 millimeter thickness, something like that, OEM. So this particular transmission has been together with that little washer in here, so you know that it's been clearanced well. Okay, so you know that it works and it's been run on track. There were no issues, knock on phone. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take this assembly back out, okay? And then we're going to put the shift forks in. We're going to put the shift selector in. We're going to put the reverse gear in, the reverse selector in, and then that's going to allow us to then fully clean this. It's all cleaned out. All the foreign materials cleaned out as best I could. I took brake clean, I sprayed it in all the oil galleys, I took compressed air, I turned it upside down, I did as much as I could to get all of the grease and junk and any sort of debris out. So the next thing to do is to clean this. Got a little bit of dirt on here from this one, as you can see, but we should be good to go. We're gonna clean it up. Doesn't look too dirty. Just gonna clean it up with some brake clean and then, turn it upside down in the trash. Make sure that all of the crap is out of it. Then we don't get any foreign material in any of the orifices that causes a block up in oiling and allows the transmission to go back together, allows it to operate on the track without any issues. Also, you'll notice that I marked all these bolts. That paint is pretty good. It works pretty well even in transmission fluid. So hopefully it sticks and stays as I said it would. And then we can basically tell if we have an issue further down the line, God forbid. So let me get to cleaning this, and yeah. Okay, I didn't like how that went in the first time. It went in. I don't like how it felt when it went in, so I'm gonna do this again. Little tricky, as you can tell, but if you've done this a couple times, it's not too bad. You gotta make sure that these washers underneath the main shaft are present in the correct orientation and in general. It's still not quite how I'd like it, but I see it's, well, that's not too bad. You can spin it with this one, spin it with this one, and put it in neutral. Okay, yeah, it's spinning. All right, so now we have to put the shifter in, the selector in. All right, selector. For the selector, there's a short bolt here and 2 long bolts here. I have had these loosen up before, so I'm going to first clean out the bores of these holes with some brake clean, and then I'm going to dry them with some compressed air, and then I'm going to use blue Loctite so that they don't loosen up. All right, you will notice that inside here, there's a little recess. This is your shift actuator, your shift selector. Detent springs are in here. There's also 2 detent springs that are on the bottom side of the case, the upper half of the case. And they basically hold these guys in to make it nice and slutty. But yeah, so we're gonna put these bolts in and get some blue Loctite on them, and it should be good. All right, so I'm reaching the yield strength of this aluminum here. It's stripping out. So I got a longer bolt, and then what I did was I took some red Loctite, and it was still, I was not confident tightening it too much. So what I did was I got the red Loctite on there, and then I took this and I staked the flange into the shift selector. So hopefully that holds. If it doesn't, we'll know because it won't work. Eventually we're going to have to drill and tap, you know, with the time stirred or a helicoil. But for now, I want to get it together. Trans is going to have to come out anyway. I'm going to be making a lot of changes this season. So this is basically ready to go. We have our reverse gear. We have a reverse gear selector in here. We have all of the shift forks in. We have this shift selector. Now what we have to do is basically just put the case on, test fit it. If the case goes on, the case should be completely dry. It's down there. Then we can RTV this and we can put it together. All right, so this is the second transmission that I've had to fight with in a short amount of time. When I rotate it, it catches, and then it spins, and it catches, and it spins. And I've had this happen before. I think it's got a bent main shaft. Reason I think that is because a lot of people run old main shaft bearings, although this one doesn't look too bad. But that car was also in a really bad accident, so the main shaft might be bent. Also, I had to press on some of the stuff for the main shaft. And the shifter, I tried 2 different shifter mechanisms. It's not working right. You know, you're supposed to be able to take, basically, I can't show you with this, but you know, supposed to be able to take a screwdriver and pull it out, push it in all the way. But then you're also supposed to be able to go like this, and it's kind of going in. Supposed to be able to pull it up and back. Okay, and then you're supposed to be able to put it in this middle setting and then push it down, and it's being finicky on when it wants to let me do that. That was reverse, if you heard that. And it's just really tight. So I don't know. Gonna probably oh god, I'm gonna probably stop the video here. It's not cooperating. I hate transmissions. This is my least favorite job. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I might not make Lime Rock at this point, so it is what it is. You know, I'm not gonna kill myself over this. I'm tired of this. It is what it is. So anyway, guys, whatever.